Right, so hello and welcome back to another video on Arthur TV. Today we're looking at part 3 of Big Ed's journey on 90 Day the Single Life. So last time out we looked at Big Ed's awkward nose kiss with Liz. After taking her on a goat yoga date, Big Ed invited Liz round for a night in with his mum. Despite Liz saying during the date that she wanted to take things slowly, Big Ed decided to go ahead with his plan to give her a goodbye kiss anyway. Unable to pull away with Ed's hands grabbing her face, Liz tilted her head forwards and he kissed her on the nose. After an awkward conversation following the rejection, the pair said goodbye. But not wanting to let the night end on such an uncomfortable note, Liz returned moments later to reconcile with a regretful and embarrassed Ed. The pair cleared the air and said goodbye seemingly on okay terms. But after Liz left for the second time, Ed remained visibly dejected, fearing he had ruined yet another relationship and admitting that he was losing hope that there was anyone out there for him. Today, however, Big Ed is on the road to redemption. Liz has invited Ed over to her house to talk about where they stand after the awkward kiss. Not knowing whether he's going to be given another chance or be told that she just wants to stay friends, Big Ed has sought the advice of his brother Mike to help him try and get his relationship with Liz back on track.
Like my new whip.
When'd you get this?
2 months ago. 333 horsepower, man. The front tires come off the ground.
So Ed and Mike set off for an afternoon on the golf course. You know, it's weird that you can still tell that they're brothers, even though they look so different. It's almost like seeing what Ed might have looked like had he not been born with Klippel-Feil syndrome. But as we found out several times in the last series, although his short stature is, his lack of neck isn't entirely down to his genetics.
Ed sucks at most sports. He used to be a pretty good gymnast. I think 16 or 17, maybe it was earlier. He was into gymnastics, and he was pretty fit back then, but the golf, he sucks.
Pictures of young Ed never cease to amaze me. Like, we already knew that when he was younger, he wasn't a bad-looking guy, but I can't believe he was a shredded gymnast at one point. Like, he really fell off, didn't he? And I'm not sure all the king's horses and all the king's men could save him now.
When we got older, it was always a competition because he was better looking than me, but I was more charismatic. And there's this one girl that we both fell for. And I got her address and I would be writing her letters. She would write me back. Then she started writing me back, "How's your brother Mike?"
Ed's dating life is actually so tragic, isn't it? Like, he got divorced after cheating on his pregnant wife, got put in the friend zone for 13 years, lost Rose, who was the only person he's dated in the 30 years since his divorce, is currently trying to salvage his new love interest just 3 dates in, and now we found out that even his brother has stolen girls from him. I mean, I know it's pretty much all his fault, but this guy just cannot catch a break. The girl probably wasn't even interested in his brother either. I reckon Ed just missed all of the hints that she wasn't interested, so she had to use Mike to pie him. He didn't even say that she gave him her address. When he says that she was writing back, she probably sent 3 letters. The first being like, "Who is this?" The second being like, "How did you get this address?" And the third one pieing him using his own brother.
So you're dating somebody with the same name as your sister?
I know, that's kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
So we've been out a couple times, and our first date was a lunch date. We just talked, like, for 2 hours, just conversation. She was crying, I was crying.
For what?
Just like emotional
You
shit.
don't cry on your first date, dude.
It's actually so refreshing to have Mike on this series. I mean, first of all, it's nice to have a break from cringing and actually see Ed acting relatively normal around another human. But I also feel like it's good for our sanity to have someone else on the show just being like, none of this is normal. Crying on your first date isn't normal, pursuing someone who shows no interest in you isn't normal, and the way Big Ed sees love definitely isn't normal.
So what are you gonna tell her?
So that's what I don't know. You're a businessman. How do I treat this as a business? Is love a business?
Ed, it's not a transaction, man. It's not a science, man. You gotta, like, think with your heart.
This pretty much confirms exactly how we all thought Big Ed viewed relationships. Like with Rose, he definitely thought that his money and the green card entitled him to her body. And now with Liz, he's basically trying to figure out what he can provide in exchange for hers. But I think he's struggling because he hasn't really got much to offer, has he?
But she's already told me, because I don't listen, she already said I'm not ready for a relationship. On our first date, she's like, I just got out of a bad relationship, and they broke up only 2 months ago.
Nice to see him say that he doesn't listen and actually acknowledge what he did wrong, but he's just not going to change, is he? As the saying goes, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and you can't teach Big Ed to respect women.
This sounds like a train wreck, man. You should be dating someone who adores you. For you. When it's right, it's the easiest thing there is. This doesn't sound easy, man.
I don't know if it will ever be easy with Ed. He's tried speaking to a relationship coach, he's tried getting advice from his brother, he's tried getting help from his mum, and none of it has helped him. Like, he's 55 years old and he's yet to have one successful relationship. He doesn't need advice anymore, he needs therapy.
If she says that we're friends, I'm out of there. I want a girlfriend, man.
I would go today and I would find out, hey, I'm interested in you more than a friend.
Yeah.
Are you interested in continuing? That's what I would say.
Okay, good.
If no, then you're done.
All right.
So Big Ed has basically decided that he's going to give Liz an ultimatum. After being told that she doesn't want to rushing her into a kiss, and then apologising for rushing, he's now going to rush her into a decision on whether she wants to be in a relationship with him or not. And if that didn't already put enough pressure on her, Ed is still reeling from jealousy from something that happened off camera after the last episode.
Last night, she was at her restaurant. I was there at the same time, and she was having a drink with a guy. I was shocked because I'd been there all night, and she had never came over to say hi. It threw me off.
Fair enough he feels jealous seeing her with another guy, but what was he doing there in the first place? The fact that he was in the restaurant all night and she didn't come over once means she probably didn't invite him there in the first place, and probably didn't appreciate his presence. I mean, it's not really surprising, is it? It's not like he was dropping by her house uninvited on a Sunday afternoon. He was pestering her at her workplace, and restaurant work is stressful and intense enough as it is. It just adds boundary issues to his ever-increasing list of red flags. It's like he's collecting them like Pokemon cards.
How you doing?
Good.
I've been on the golf course with my brother. I'm totally sunburned.
I don't see it. I'll see it tomorrow, though.
You'll see it tomorrow.
I got Malbec.
What's all this? How nice.
It is, I don't know, snacks. So it's less awkward.
Not really a great sign that after only 3 dates, she has to be prepared for dry conversation with snacks and alcohol, is it? Bet the conversation's not the only thing that's dry when Ed's around. Anyway, Ed being Ed, he doesn't waste a moment and instantly puts Liz on the spot about the other night.
So he's a coworker, and we go have drinks together. He's my good friend as a guy friend, and there's nothing between us.
Okay, hold on 1 second. And then I saw you guys walk into your car one night.
He walks me all the time to the parking garage.
But I think he likes you. I mean, who wouldn't?
He's quite accusatory given their relationship status, isn't he? Like, they're not boyfriend or girlfriend or even exclusive yet. I mean, fair enough if he wants to know if she's seeing anyone else, and I guess he has a right to ask. But accusing her and then interrupting her mid-explanation to accuse her further definitely wasn't the best way to go about it, and I don't think the little compliment at the end really saved it for him.
I just don't want this to be a problem, and I don't want you to get mad at my coworkers. I'm not gonna stop hanging out, like having my own life and being independent and everything like that, so.
I kind of rate how she's setting the boundaries so clearly with Ed. She said that in her last relationship, she wasn't really allowed to have any guy friends and said that her ex was really controlling. So given she's just got out of that relationship, it's not really surprising that she wants to enjoy her freedom for a bit.
No, and you need your space. I have friends that are girls, and I want that trust too. I like who you are. I like the fact that you're very independent and that you stand up for how you feel. And I respect that. I'm a fucking idiot. I overreacted.
I feel like there's only so many times you can be like, yeah, I messed up, I'm an idiot, before it starts to become obvious that it's more than that. Like with Ed, he's not just an idiot, is he? He's got misogyny flowing through his veins. He's the Dr. Eggman of the dating world. You could give Ed the benefit of the doubt here and give him credit for respecting her response, but I think it's just because she's got all of the power here. Like, he can't really disagree without losing her, and you've got to wonder whether he'd be so accepting if he had any kind of leverage in the relationship.
I'm sorry.
Well, thank you for the apology.
But just know that I like you. I don't know how you feel.
I do like you.
You know, I care about you. And I don't want to be in the friend zone, but I don't want to rush you. But I guess I should ask you, do you think that I'm boyfriend potential?
Yeah.
Why does she never look like she actually wants any of this? She always looks so grossed out at any implication of a romantic relationship. I also don't really get why Ed keeps pushing her for relationship progress. Like, her saying that she wants to take things slow and see where things go is her saying there's potential. To be fair, that's probably actually half the reason she reacts the way she does. If you're wanting to take things slow and someone keeps pushing you, it's gonna put you off, isn't it? Also, I love how he interrupted her half a second into her accepting his apology to make it about him again. Although it doesn't surprise me that Ed has absolutely no interest in letting his girl finish.
I don't think he has a right to be jealous right now, but we talked about it, and I feel like we're good now. And as we hang out more and talk about things, I'm starting to realize there's more feelings on my end than what I thought would ever be.
So our next get-together, that's going to be the wedding.
I've never been to a wedding.
You've never been to a wedding?
Just my own.
So Big Ed had actually secured a fourth date before coming up to see Liz. He got invited to a wedding up by Lake Arrowhead in California and asked Liz to go with him. I love how literally the last time we saw them together, Ed was apologising for rushing into kissing her after she said she wanted to take things slow. And literally days later he sat at her house accusing her of dating other people and asking her to go to weddings with him. But for some reason, Liz seems pretty content with it all, so I guess he could be doing worse.
Who doesn't want to go to a wedding with a beautiful girl on his arm? And to be quite honest, I thought, wow, that's how you can get romantic, right? So.
He definitely means get laid, doesn't he? His first night in a hotel with Rose, he went straight for it. And now he's got a weekend away with Liz. All he can think about is whether they're going to sleep together.
Oh, so I wanted to ask you, whatever you're more comfortable with, should I get one room with 2 queens? Or do you want your own room?
I can do 2 queens.
You okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
What about bunk beds? I'm just kidding.
I call top.
Oh, you want to be on top?
Oh my God, that just went so bad. Sorry.
You called it. Now I'm not going to sleep tonight. All right, so I better run. Thank you for this.
I'm not going to do nose kiss today.
How this absolute train wreck is still chugging along the tracks is beyond me. I'm not gonna sleep tonight is such a weird way of following an innuendo. He is as smooth as sandpaper. Although at least he didn't assume and just book one room with 1 bed in it, so again, I guess it could have been worse. Given it's only been 4 dates, assuming tonight was a date, a lot has gone wrong so far. But it seems like Liz is pretty forgiving of everything, so it seems like it's going to take something pretty big to derail their relationship progress at this point. I wonder if she's just putting up with it because it's better than her last relationship, or whether she really does have feelings for Ed. There are also rumours going around that she's getting paid $1,000 per episode, so maybe a few more evenings of awkward fumbling flirtiness are worth it for her to secure the bag. Regardless of her true intentions, the 4th date is confirmed and on its way, meaning there's more Big Ed drama to come very soon. So if you enjoyed today's video and you want to make sure you catch the next one, make sure you're subscribed down below so you don't miss out. As always, the links to my Instagram, Twitter and other social media will be down below, so feel free to drop me a follow to keep up with the channel, help me decide what future videos to make, or just say hi in between uploads. I'd also just like to give a very quick shout out to my Patreon supporters for supporting me and the channel over on Patreon. Thank you for watching and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.